He played all 82.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr, I love Steve Kerr addressing him and giving him a game ball. Steve Kerr, in the locker room yesterday at the Moda Center, in case you missed it, it's on Warriors Twitter or Warriors Instagram. Steve Kerr had 3 game balls. He gave one to Kevon Looney for playing all 82 games, rightfully so. If there's like a Willie Mack Award or a Lynn Eschbot Award, I think Kevon Looney, that has his name all over it.
Yes.
Kevon Looney's has been unbelievable this year.
The Al Addles Destroyer Award.
No doubt. I love the Windex nickname.
Yeah, I like that too.
Kevon Windex Looney, because he always cleans up the glass.
Crazy glue.
Yeah, I heard that too. Elbers. Call him Elber.
Elmer. Ooh, I like that.
Ooh. Elber Looney.
He's doing a lot with his hair too. I really like it.
Oh yeah, the hair's banging.
Yeah,
Moon Dog, underrated hair.
Yeah, very, very underrated.
So he gave a game ball to Looney. Then he gave a game ball to Klay Thompson for joining the 300 3-point make club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's Jordan James Harden and Steph Curry as the only players in NBA history to make at least 300 threes in a season. Then he gave a game ball to Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole has not had it easy. Now he started 43 games. So he's ineligible for the 6th Man of the Year award because half his games, obviously, he's been a starter.
That's so silly.
And he's averaged 25 a game as a starter.
I mean, the 6th Man award was literally designed for someone like Jordan Poole.
So
what's the over-under? You can't start more than half of them?
I guess so.
That's ridiculous. Talk about a ridiculous rule.
Oh, I like this. Comcast Business Text Line 510 Kevon Looney.
I like that. But what I was going to say.
So Jordan Poole, he gets a game ball. Hold on, let me finish real quick. Gets a game ball, and Steve Kerr made it a point to, hey, it's not easy playing 82. Guys are in and out of the lineup, left and right. They just showed up each and every night while staying in the gym late, while coming to the gym early. Jordan Poole's season, it's been a bit rocky, but you look up at the end of the year saying, wow, he averaged over 20, career high. He dropped 4.5 assists a game. He shot 87% from the free throw line. The three-pointer started working late in the season. Now you look at his last 9 games coming into the playoffs, Jordan Poole, 38% from 3. Now he's been around the 32 percentile. 38% from 3, I'll take that all day long. 85% from the free throw line, 22 points a game. Jordan Poole has saved his best for last over the last night. He's been really good.
And then I was going to say that, there's so much that we make about social media in this era for like young athletes, especially with the NIL. It does feel like we're now more than ever begging younger and younger athletes to be more on Twitter, on Insta, on TikTok, on all those, platforms.
Right.
And I feel like, you're good, to say that you shouldn't be on. No, you have to be to get noticed now. I'm sorry, that's part of the currency. But I also feel like part of that social currency is limiting how much you're on there and some of the things that you say and being a little more guarded. I think it's better for you, the individual, in terms of your own mental health.
Right.
But also, I think less is more. In this era of so much access, being a little guarded, it's not the worst thing in the world.
No, I'm not mad at him.
Now, does Kawhi take it overboard with being super, super guarded?
I'm not mad at that
either. Some
either.
people, but I think it's refreshing because I feel like Paul George, like we were talking about Paul George. I don't need to hear what Paul. Now, this is me. Other people, if you want to listen to the product, go ahead. I don't need to hear a podcast from Paul George. I don't. Not while he's playing. Like JJ Redick, you want to do it while you're not? Fine. Some guys, like Draymond is so outspoken, I want to hear what he has to say. And maybe that's me.
Why
my
not Paul
Warrior
George,
biases.
though? Why not Paul George? I'm interested to hear what playoff.
I don't find Paul George to be an interesting person.
Yeah, but now when he's talking about, I want to get to know Paul George a little bit.
I listened to it. I gave it a little chance. I don't find him that interesting. Evan Turner is another one. He does the podcast with Andre Iguodala. I don't find him that interesting. That's just me. That's my particular, calibration. So I keep going back to the Jordan Poole, and I'm like, in this era where everyone's giving you too much, I kind of like that he's not giving me a lot.
I like PG. I think he comes off as honest, man. And there's this narrative about PG that he's soft or, he's just not a good dude. And I like PG opening up, man.
I think he's an honest, good dude.
I think PG's a good dude.
When I tap into when I listen to podcasts, right? I want to be educated, entertained, or I want to smile. Right? It's one of those things.
Do you think Paul George educates you on the game?
I listened to one of them, and it was like, it was okay. Like, Draymond's just hilarious, and I get some education, and I get some insights.
Speaking of Jordan Poole, by the way, you say less is more. This is an underrated thing. Klay, Steph, and Jordan Poole, most threes by a trio in NBA history. Jordan Poole made over 200 threes this year. Made 210 threes, 12th most in NBA this season. Steph Curry, despite missing all that time, playing 55 games, Made the third most threes, 269, and then Klay Thompson, of course, led the NBA with 301 threes. The previous record holders for most threes by a trio
that's what I want to know.
was Steph, Klay, and Draymond Green.
Really?
778. 2015, 2016.
Oh, yeah. Okay, the year that he had a monster year. Draymond averaged almost 17 a game.
Yeah, well, 14 a game, and then Draymond averaged 14 a game. Steph hit 402 threes.
Yeah, 402.
So he kind of carried the load.
I have a jersey downstairs that I won in a raffle. You ever do these like raffles where you paid $20, you get 4 or 5 tickets, and we're gonna have a raffle. It's to support Little League team going to Williamsport or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. You ever or Cooperstown? That's what it was back then. Yep. So I bought all these raffles, and I get a phone call like 2 months later. Totally forgot that I spent all this money on. This was 5+ years ago. And the guy goes, "Hey, you won the raffle. Come get your prize." I'm like, "Oh, what's the prize? You got to come to South City." I'm like, "All right." So I drive to South City. I'm in this guy's garage. He pulls out this huge picture frame, and I can't see the front of it because it's got paper over the picture frame. And he goes, "You win." I go, "What is it?" He goes, "It's a Steph Curry autographed jersey of him breaking the 3-point record."
Wow.
I go, "Really?" All right. I rip it open. I look. It's authenticated. It's got the little, certificate number on the back and all that, and it's stamped. 254 was the number that he had broke it with at the time.
Wow.
Or 252. 250 something for sure. Steph Curry.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got it in the basement. I hung it.
Isn't that
cool?
Wright? That is pretty cool. Darrell Wright once had the 3-point record
for the Warriors
for a single season. Just in the NBA general. He led the league.
He must have done that 2010?
Yeah, he led the league.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And it was like, how many threes?
150?
190, baby.
He would have been much better in this era.
Oh, no doubt.
In terms of like his value would have gone up. I think that he just missed out on this era.
No, he had, I got to pull that up here.
DG saying that Shasky hung it up in his cottage in Italy.
You do have
That's
a lot
pretty
of
funny.
houses.
That's pretty funny.
It was in 2011. Yeah, he broke. Jason Richardson had the previous record, 183. He hit 184 in April 6th, 2011.
And Steph did 402.
Wow.
Eventually.
So overall, D. Wright had 194. That's crazy. Now 402. 402. The game is taking off. Take it all. All right,
that was Warriors franchise record, by the way.
Not Warriors franchise record, but he led the league, I believe, in threes. Yeah, he led the league at threes. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM, and AC1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app. Download the Odyssey app and favorite 95.7 The Game for the best and most up-to-date sports coverage. And do not forget that you can also watch us every day on our YouTube and Twitch streams. Just log on and search 95.7 The Game. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel while you are there. 888-957-9570. All day long. What's your initial thoughts on this series? Kings and Warriors. We'll have all week to break it down. Overall, the playoff picture. It's so good to have the playoffs back. Regular season felt a little long this year. A lot of load management, a lot of yak. Now we get down to business. Playoff basketball. Grown man basketball. You get to play in tournament Tuesday. Miami taking on the Hawks in South Beach. And then you have the Lakers hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves at their T-Wolves base. It's actually amazing that they won that basketball game yesterday. To come back and win and beat the Pelicans after Gobert got sent home at halftime. Jared Vanderbilt breaks his hand by punching the wall. He's out for the playoffs. Naz Reid is already out. How will Kyle Anderson and Rudy Gobert coexist on the court together? It's just wild times in Minnesota. So Warriors, Kings. Memphis gets the winner of Minnesota and the Lakers. You get Clippers, Suns in a 4-5 matchup, which could be juicy. Westbrook going up against his former teammate Kevin Durant. I think it's the first time I've ever met in the playoffs. Oh, no. Yeah.
Didn't the Rockets play but I don't think he was on
Westbrook
that team.
wasn't on that team. This is the first time they played each other in the postseason.
First time in Kawhi and KD on the court in the playoffs since
2019 NBA Finals.
Wow, that long. 4 years. Wow.
And only, 12 minutes, 13 minutes for KD? And he came out and hit 3 straight threes, and everybody in Toronto.
River dancing in the
Scotiabank Arena. Everybody looked around and said, oh, no, KD's back. Oh, man. So initial thoughts, 888-957-9570. I'll see your text messages on a Comcast business text line as well. That low watermark and high watermark question that Madeline Kitty was interesting. Because when you think about the high watermark, can you even have
I don't even know if
any high watermarks for this team anymore in the regular season?
Right now.
It's right now, right?
Just getting into the playoffs
and
healthy.
having 6 days
right
off.
now, like it's not even a game.
6 days off.
It's nothing but right now. This is the most optimistic I felt since the season started.
Well, Draymond Green, he says they'll use this week to practice.
I think this week will be huge for us, just having this opportunity to practice and, work out some kinks, fix some things that we know need to be fixed. It's really been since the All-Star break, since we've really practiced, which is 2 months. It's a lot of slippage that happens when you don't have the opportunity to practice. So it'll be good for us to get this week under our belt and really clean some things up that we know need to be cleaned up headed into the playoffs.
All right, I'm getting the easy travel schedule to play the Sacramento Kings. Here's what Day had to say about that.
That's huge. It's huge. I mean, we went to Memphis last year. We went to Dallas last year. Boston was far as hell. Denver was not an easy flight and definitely not an easy game to play in altitude. So we had quite the travel schedule for the playoffs last year. To know that, we'll be starting off in Sac, it's huge. That travel starts to add up. And so being that it's a bus ride away, I think that'll be great for us. And hopefully we can fill the stands with some Dubs fans, Dub Nation, and try to turn it into a home game. But Sac has a great crowd. They've been ready and waiting for this for years. And so, it'll be a crazy atmosphere, but I'm looking forward to it.
The travel. It's underrated, man. I don't think the casual fan will understand what these guys go through with the traveling.
The casual
late
fan.
Nights. Yeah.
I'll tell you, you and I took a flight back from Boston, then you went back over there. I was wrecked for days.
It's not an easy flight.
I don't know how these guys do it. And then they had to go to Memphis, and they had to go to Denver. They had Dallas. Like, they were going back and forth. Yeah, this is going to be a lot more easy on their body. The other thing that I think we've underreported, the technicals all start back down at zero for Draymond and Jordan Poole.
That's done. Yeah, I don't even worry about that.
I am very surprised that he didn't get that next technical.
Oh, I'm not. Draymond, I'm actually surprised Draymond got the 1-game suspension.
Well, he only gets techs when he wants them.
He straddles that line. Every single year, he gets to about 12, and then he shuts it down. He knows what he's doing. He's always talking. Yesterday, he missed a layup, and he looked back at the referee like, yo, what's up, man? He's locked in, though. He looks locked in, and this rest will be good for him.
He needs the wrist, the back, the knees. Everything needs a deep breath.
He's banged up.
Yes, he's the one I'm most worried about physically.
Here's Klay Thompson on playing the Kings.
Oh, that's who we're playing? Oh, cool. Oh, that's going to be fun, man. First time NBA history. It's going to be really special. And I know the Kings fans will be excited. They haven't been in the playoffs in a while, so they'll be very excited. But that's just great. Great for the NBA, great for Northern California. And it's great for us. We don't have to travel too far, which is very nice because sometimes, flying across the country every other day is exhausting.
And then Klay Thompson, he's locked in. He's excited about being in the postseason again.
I like where we're at. We're all healthy. So excited to get Wiggins back in the mix. Young guys play great tonight. And this week of preparation is going to be so important for us to keep our conditioning up and our minds fresh. But people will forever remember what happens in the playoffs. And we've tended to be a great playoff team. So I have no worries. And I'm excited. I mean, it's the best time to be a basketball player professionally.
And so I keep hearing the word optimism, excitement. And then 8-957-9570. Is this the most optimistic Warrior fans have been all season?
For me, it is.
Wow.
The high water mark was getting to the playoffs, not being in the play-in. Everyone's healthy. I said 8, but I'll throw in Wiggins. A 9-man rotation that I feel great about. It's the most optimistic I've been about the young guys, some of the veterans. They don't look like they're worn down outside of the wrist for Draymond. I feel pretty damn good. The travel is really beneficial to their older bodies. They're on the right side of the bracket. There's a lot going on here that I'm really optimistic. Now, they got to handle business. I think this is going to be a tough series, but.
Optimistic in terms of what does that optimism lead you to? Does it lead you to thoughts about another championship? Does it lead you to thoughts about a Western Conference Finals berth?
You got to win 16.
Right.
You got to win 16. But I couldn't even see them winning 8 a couple months ago.
Wow.
And now I could visualize.
What about 3 weeks
16.
ago?
Yeah, that too. I could visualize 16. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I can visualize it. I couldn't even visualize it a couple weeks ago. I couldn't. Could you?
Let's take it game by game. It was tough. I knew that Wiggins connected everything. Getting Wiggins back, I think, helped. Without even playing a basketball game.
The psyche has changed
It's
dramatically.
a steal alert from Jason Dumas that Andrew Wiggins is back in the Bay. And then you get the Woj bomb at 9:44 in the morning here on the West Coast on a Monday saying Andrew Wiggins is back in the Bay. He's going to be at Chase Center. And I was like, oh, okay. Now you got your horse back. Now you got a guy who averaged 18 points and 9 rebounds in the NBA Finals. And if it wasn't for Curry still in the show, would have probably been Finals MVP for his defense that he played out Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. That's when I started to feel like, oh, okay, Wiggins is back. Gary Payton II looks healthy. Kuminga's playing very good basketball. Jordan Poole, slow down on the turnovers. He's starting to play well, being more decisive. Less slips on the floor, less turnovers. Dante DiVincenzo rediscovered his three-point stroke. That's what I think the Wiggins report got me feeling really, really good about where this basketball team was. But then you still had work to do, right? Can you get to 6?
Take me back to 2019. Because I remember 2020 down the stretch, he hurt his tailbone, and even though he was on a tear, he was hurt, Steph Curry.
Oh, yeah, 2021.
Last year, he came off the bench, okay, coming into the playoffs. Is this the healthiest he's been in like 4 or 5 years coming into the playoffs?
Maybe, but we don't hear anything about the knee.
Yeah, he looks pretty damn spry. His shoulder looks good.
Yeah, I mean,
2019, what was he like going into the... I don't remember. Didn't he have an ankle injury?
Yeah, but he was lighting it up in 2019. I mean, they basically beat the Blazers. KD sat, I think, the first 2 games of that series. Steph Curry was...
I mean, that's 4 years, B.
I mean, you just look at last season in his playoff run. And, yesterday, right? We always do these moments from Golden Era on a Warriors pregame show. And
There's so many of them. A lot of them I don't remember.
And so Steph Curry was the I'm back game yesterday.
Oh, my favorite.
17 points in overtime, an NBA record for a playoff game.
Another game he came off the bench.
All right. And I was like, is that your favorite moment, Festus? He was like, yeah. But then there's Oklahoma City. And then there's 2015. And then there's Game 4 against Boston last season. I mean, coming off the bench against Denver and cooking them. I mean, the list goes on and on and on with him.
The three-pointer against the Pelicans.
So what does he have in store this year? Yeah, Game 3 against the Pelicans, coming back from 20 down.
Oh, my God. One of the sickest shots of all. And he got fouled on that play.
I mean, and now he's going for great. Now he's going for the ultimate greatness. He's going for that 5th ring.